Hello. Today I want to talk to you about the relationship that we all want. So what I did was I wrote a story that was based upon one of my clients' examples. And I want to share the story with you because it's the fairy tale that we all want. And then I want to talk for just a minute at the end about your life already is a fairy tale, even if this is not your story. Once upon a time, in a small town nestled in the rolling hills, there was a young couple. Their names were Lily and Tom, and they were high school sweethearts, two souls who seemed destined to find each other. Their love bloomed early, and at the tender age of 21, they made a commitment before their friends, family, and the universe to be each other's forever love. The vows they exchanged were simple but promising, powerful, to stand by each other in sickness and in health, through joys and challenges, no matter what the storm. Their journey, however, was not without trials. In the early years, the world seemed to test them at every turn. They moved into a tiny apartment, barely furnished, but filled with dreams. Tom found work as a mechanic, while Lily took a job in a small bakery. Their income barely stretched to cover rent, bills, and an occasional meal. But in those moments when the weight of the world pressed heavily on their shoulders, they never wavered. They held each other through long, sleepless nights, reminding themselves that the love that they had was worth the struggle. However, there came a time in their second year of marriage where doubt crept in. Tom had lost his job, and the company he worked for closed down. Desperate for work, he became irritable and withdrawn, spending long hours in their small apartment searching for job listings. Lily, who was already working long hours, tried to comfort him, but found herself frustrated by his lack of optimism. One evening, after an argument that left both of them in tears, Lily told him that she wasn't sure how much longer she could live like this, barely scraping by with no end in sight. Tom, ashamed of his failures, turned away, and for the first time, they both feared that their relationship might not survive this harsh test. But through the silence, they decided to open up in ways they hadn't before. Lily, despite her hurt, realized how deeply Tom was affected by the pressure. Tom, for his part, understood that he needed to allow himself to be vulnerable. They talked late into the night, promising to support each other, no matter how tough things got. In the end, they didn't give up on each other. Tom eventually found a new job, and although it wasn't the career he dreamed of, they found peace in their shared effort to move forward together. The second trial came years later when they were raising their children. The pressure of parenting, maintaining their jobs, and keeping their relationship strong was overwhelming. One particularly difficult winter, Tom had been working overtime at a construction job while Lily was managing a growing family at home. With their youngest child having health problems, tempers began to flare. One night after an exhausting day, Lily snapped at Tom, accusing him of not being there enough. Tom, on the edge himself, shouted back, telling her that she didn't understand how hard he was working. The words they exchanged were cruel, and that night neither of them slept, both wondering if they had gone too far to fix things. They both thought their marriage might be over. In that moment, they nearly gave up. But after a few days of distance, they came back together with the understanding that their relationship wasn't meant to be perfect. It was meant to be worked on day by day. They enrolled in a marriage workshop and learned how to communicate better, to be more compassionate. The realization that they were both struggling, but in this together, was the turning point. And from then on, they made an effort to carve out time for each other, even if it was just a quiet cup of coffee before the kids woke up. As time passed, they faced other difficulties, career setbacks, financial instability, and the challenges that come with getting older and wiser. They faced disagreements too, moments where their differences felt like walls between them. But each time they chose to listen, to understand, and to compromise. They learned that love wasn't just about the high moments, it was about showing up every day, and both the quiet and the chaotic moments. In the later years, when they had children of their own, Lily and Tom's bond only deepened. They had little house now, a cozy small house with a garden where the kids played. They celebrated birthdays, anniversaries, and holidays with a great sense of gratitude, knowing that their journey had been one of resilience and unwavering love. Throughout the challenges of parenthood, illness, and the passing of loved ones, they found solace in each other. And as they grew older, their love didn't diminish, it just transformed. Their hands grew worn and withered, and their hair turned silver, and their faces became lined with the stories of decades shared. Yet in their eyes, there was still the spark of that young love. Lily's laugh, soft but infectious, still made Tom's heart skip a beat. Tom's gentle smile, always full of warmth, still made Lily feel like the luckiest woman in the world. By the time they reached their later years, they had become a part of the fabric of each other's lives. They would sit on the porch holding hands, watching the sunset and reminiscing about the years they had shared. Lily's hair was now a cascade of silver, often tied back in a loose bun, while Tom had the graying stubble of a man who had lived a full and rich life. Both of them had slowed down, but their love remained steadfast, as constant as the stars in the night sky. They would sometimes laugh at the hardships they had faced, about the money they had struggled to save, the arguments that felt like mountains at the time, but seemed so small now. "We made it through," Tom would say with a grin, squeezing her hand. Lily would nod, resting her head on his shoulder, her heart full of the same affection she had for him when they first met. The years had not stolen their connection, it only deepened it. And in their final days, when the world seemed to grow quieter, their love was still the loudest thing in the room, echoing through every wrinkle, every shared glance, every word. They had lived a life full of challenges, yes, but they had faced them all side by side. And in the end, they had something even more precious than the wealth they had never accumulated, a love that had lasted a lifetime. In their later years, they could be seen walking hand in hand down the familiar streets of their town, their heads held high, their hearts intertwined. They had become a living testament to the power of commitment, of never giving up on each other. Lily and Tom had not only grown old together, they had grown together, and their love had only become more beautiful with time. And so in the stillness of their twilight years, as the sun dipped behind the hills each evening, they sat together, two souls forever intertwined, having weathered every storm, having built a lifetime of memories and at peace, knowing that the love they had shared was more than enough. It had been everything. We all want this type of relationship. For each of us, it's almost been an expectation. I certainly have missed this type of relationship. What is the story of your life and your relationship? Is it more beautiful than this one or what you could imagine? Or have you experienced disappointment? I'd really like to invite you to go to mammouthedge.com and take the life assessment. I would love to hear your current story and help you to rewrite it for how you really want it to be. Thank you.